everybody, and welcome back to the Phase podcast. It's great to have you listening along with us. Today, I am joined by Isabel. Hello. Isabel is a sixth form student, and we are going to be spending 15 minutes today talking about life as a sixth form student, some of the challenges, some of the joys around school, technology, and lots of other things as well. So we are going to start our timer, and we are going to have a 15-minute conversation. I hope there's things that you're able to take away from this and learn from this. But other than that, are you ready, Isabel?
I am ready.
Okay, let's go. The timer has begun. So, Isabel, tell us just a little bit about who you are, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so as you said, I am a sixth form student. I've just finished year 12, going into year 13. I'm doing my A-levels, so I'm doing English Lit, art and geography. Outside of school, I do kayaking, I paint and I read, so there are some things about me.
Oh, nice. Lots of variety in what you do, kind of inside of school and outside of school, but also lots of links in those things as well, from things you enjoy doing separately as well. And for those of us who aren't 17, can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to be 17?
So I think that it's a very big transition phase because you're not really a child anymore, but you're not an adult yet. So you're learning how to do a lot of more adult things. There's obviously learning how to drive. That's fun. A lot of people I know, including myself, are learning how to drive. Working, because I think most people that I know that are also 17 are starting to work now, and just learning different things like how to be more independent. So I've started calling the doctors by myself, so that's quite fun.
Yeah, there's that big responsibility.
Yeah, I definitely just do more things yourself.
Yeah, that kind of independence. Is independence something that you are excited about? Is it something that worries you a little bit?
I'm definitely excited about it, but when it comes to actually doing these things, so actually calling these places, it is quite daunting. But I think once you do it, you realise how simple it really is. It's not really that big of a deal once you've actually done it. Like when I had to call the doctors, I was really nervous about it, but I just did it, had to get it over and done with, and I realised how easy it really was.
Yeah, lots of like transitions and lots of, I guess, changes in from like dependence to more independence, learning to drive, working, all of those things, still while you're studying and still while you're at home as well.
Yeah.
What are some of those challenges of school in sixth form?
Definitely the workload, I think. In theory, it's quite easy to keep up with everything. I'm only doing 3 subjects, so you would think that that's relatively easy to keep up with, but it's like everything on top of that. So sort of extra reading, volunteering, working, EPQ, all of these things, and everything builds up alongside like a social life. So keeping on track with everything and time management as well, especially for me, is quite a tricky one. So I'd say that's probably my biggest challenge personally.
Okay, yeah, so managing your time and trying to fit everything in. What would you say you do to help you manage your time?
I think setting events in calendars and stuff. I use Google Calendar, which is quite easy, and because it's quite visual, I need that for myself. So it just puts it in like blocks what I'm going to do each day, and that kind of helps me visualize my week and see when I've got time to do certain things. So that usually helps.
Yeah, and I guess also then being able to see the space for some downtime as well.
Yeah,
and saying actually here's a bit more of a chill afternoon or morning or whatever that might be, and lots of things. But yeah, time management is definitely something that I think as you come into sixth form, as you kind of get later down in your school career, actually something that's really important and an important skill to learn for adulthood as well. But what are some of the joys? What are some of the good things about your experience at school and at sixth form?
Definitely meeting new people and being with my friends and stuff. I came to a different sixth form than my secondary school, so I didn't really know many people, but it was really fun sort of meeting new people and just talking to people that I hadn't spoken to before. And as simple as it is, working in an empty art room is probably the highlight of my week. It's very relaxing. Even though I do enjoy being with people, sometimes I need to have a second to just like calm down, I guess, take a step back from everything. So just working in like an empty room is really quite relaxing. And after you've done an exam, that is the best feeling when you can just kind of put that behind you and rest for the evening. You've done what you had to do, so no more studying that night. That's probably one of the best parts of sixth form, I think.
Yeah, when you've been like working up to something, studying hard for something, and then it gets to the point of, it's done. Yeah, definitely, it's all finished. And what do you do to relax when you do have your downtime, or maybe your exams are finished? What's your chill out routine?
Honestly, it's probably just watching a movie, just kind of laying down, not having to think about anything, just relaxing, really, just not doing anything.
Yeah, just having a bit of almost empty space of just kind of being and not having to worry about anything or having anything to do. Oh, that's really interesting. Now, when we think about teenagers, a lot of the time we think about technology, we think about social media, we think about the online world, the digital world, and it's quite a big thing, not just I think for our teenagers, but I think for everybody, and it has grown and progressed. But what role does technology and social media play in your life?
I think social media and technology, they are really good. They allow people to keep in contact, and so even if I can't see my friends in person after school, I can still talk to them, so we can stay in contact. But I think that it can get quite overwhelming. I definitely have experienced this, especially with TikTok, Instagram, Reels, like these kind of short videos. I find them quite overstimulating, and I think there was a point where I got quite stressed out by it all, because I realized like I didn't actually want to see the media that I was seeing. Not that it was bad, it's just that I hadn't actively gone out and searched for it. It was kind of just being given to me. I think when used properly, it is a good way to unwind and talk to people. And, you know, I love watching funny videos and watching people that I enjoy watching. But I think learning how to control the amount that you see, if that makes sense. So setting timers and stuff, that's definitely helped me. And I've got an app that forces you to take a deep breath before you go into Instagram.
Okay.
Which is quite interesting, actually. And it's made me think, do I actually want to be going on here, or is it just because it's a habit? And that's helped me regulate how much I'm on these apps. So definitely given me a more positive experience with them, I think. So
yeah, that's a really cool idea to have, just that taking that moment before you go on things like you were saying. Actually, is this a habit, or am I actually wanting to be online right now on Instagram and whatever that might look like? Yeah, some really good ways of managing that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about the algorithm in terms of, you were saying about you're not actively searching content, but almost content is finding you?
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting. I like the fact that it shows you videos based off what you have liked and you follow. I think that's quite good, because obviously I really enjoy art stuff. So I found some really cool artists online and just through the algorithm. But then, especially on TikTok, I feel like it just gives you a lot of random stuff that isn't necessarily what you want to see. I think there's pros and cons about it.
Yeah, sometimes it takes out the element of choice.
Yeah,
That actually you can still get a lot of positive.
Yeah,
a lot of positive stuff like that. And you were saying about it feeling kind of overwhelming sometimes. Do you find that's a common thing among your friends as well? People of a similar perspective?
Definitely. Me and my friend actually both decided to delete TikTok, so I don't actually have it anymore, because it was just getting a bit too much for me. And we've like discussed, both of us, saying that we both felt quite overwhelmed by it, especially during exam season. We've already got lots of things to worry about, and it felt like it was kind of I felt like I couldn't get off it. It was almost like an addiction, which sounds so silly, but it really is. And it just felt quite stressful. And I've spoken to other people and they agree as well, but they haven't gotten rid of it, which fair enough. But it seems to be like the general consensus. It's quite stressful having so much media pushed at you all the time.
Yeah, just the amount of it that you're out, because it's not just on your phone, is it? It's in lots of different places. It's even at school using laptops and in advertising and just even in conversations talking about definitely like digital technology and social media and things people have seen online. It's not just on our phones. It's quite hard to switch off from that stuff.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Phase podcast. If you are, why not check out more of our content? The Phase Hitchin YouTube channel is full of brilliant ideas, helpful advice and funny videos. From tips for managing anxiety and exam stress to hilarious fundraiser clips. Check out our channel now by searching for Phase Hitchin on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date. Back to the podcast, enjoy.
So in terms of managing some of those things, so managing your stress and maintaining your mental health as well, what are some things that you do able to do that?
Again, sort of planning things out and trying to organise my time, because that seems to be the thing that stresses me out the most, is not having enough time for everything. So if I can visually plan things out, that helps me, because I'm quite a visual person. I need to actually see what is happening, and finding a routine that I do. Even if it's just sort of how you get ready in the morning, I find that sort of sets me on the right track for the day, because I already know what's happening. The only problem with that is if it does go out of routine, it can mess up the day a little bit, but it's okay. It's just getting back onto that routine. I think the most important thing that I do is talking to someone, because I've realised that if I keep all the stress inside, it is very unproductive, and I can't, no matter how much planning I do, it doesn't really help me. Just talking to someone, so I like talking things through with my dad, because he usually has the right answers for something that I'm worried about. So if I just tell him what I'm worried about or what I'm stressing about, then, because he's got a different perspective, or just anyone that you talk to, they've got a different perspective on it. And so hearing what they have to say about it helps you see it in a different way. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, so talking to people, keeping organised, like finding routine as well, helps maintain mental health, but also maybe manage some of the stresses, especially of school and that time management that we were talking about earlier. So you mentioned as well how you enjoy doing art, and you study art at school, but you also enjoy to do it outside of school as well. Is that something that you find supports looking after your mental health?
I think so, yeah. Putting down technology and stuff, so it's doing something outside of that that's still stimulating for me personally. Just finding time to do something that I enjoy definitely does help.
Yeah, when you've got a bit of an outlet, and like you say, that screen break as well. Yeah, having something where you can, explore stuff and be creative in that separately is really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
So as you look into adulthood, I'm sure something that at school gets spoken about a lot, looking forward ahead to the future. What are maybe some of your concerns around the future?
Yeah, I think just leaving school, I'm very excited to leave school, but it's just the thought of leaving that safety net, so you no longer have sort of a pastoral team to go to when you're worried about something, or you don't really have, I mean, there are other things to go to, but to do with like school especially, there isn't really anyone to fall back on that will help you and push you. It's more down to you and your own independence and drive, I guess, to continue going. So definitely leaving the safety net of school, but also getting into universities and getting jobs and stuff. I think that's something that everyone gets, like when they're trying to start something new or they're trying to compete for something, everyone gets nervous about it. But that's definitely something that I think about quite a lot. And then just meeting new people, moving away and leaving the friends that I've made to go somewhere where I don't actually know anyone. So if I'm going to university further away from here, which I probably will, learning how to talk to new people without having someone to fall back on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that element of independence in those decisions, almost putting yourself out there a little bit and meeting new people, I think that's a really, yes, actually I think a lot of people worry about, no matter what age, that actually we worry about before we start secondary school, and we worry about when you start a new job. But yeah, it can be a little bit of a worry, is leaving that safety net, as you described, which I think is a really good description of actually, I think the years you approach leaving school, especially in sixth form, actually spend a lot of time trying to put those things in place for yourself, so when you have left school, you're able to do that. And what are some of your hopes for the future as you approach adulthood?
I think maintaining the relationships that I have now, because I feel like I've got a very good support system with my friends. So that's also comes into the whole meeting new people concerns, because if I move away from that, will I still have that? I guess I've just put in extra effort to stay friends with these people, then it should be fine. But then linking to that as well, I also have hopes for meeting new people. Like, I'm quite excited to meet new people because I just enjoy doing that. So yeah, learning more things, just learning how to, I guess, function in the adult world. Because whilst I feel like I've learned so much in the past year of just going to sixth form, because it's a massive change in a positive way, I've just become so much more independent, just continuing that learning and growing as a person. I'm very excited for that, and to finally pass my driving test, which I've got in August. I'm very excited to be able to drive myself places and not have to rely on buses or my parents giving me a lift.
Yeah, just adds another level to that independence, doesn't it? Well, good luck in all of it. And we are coming to the end of our 15 minutes, but I have one final question for you. What advice would you give other young people who are at the stage of life that you are at the moment?
Definitely just talk to someone if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you've got any worries or anything like that. Just talking to someone makes such a difference. I felt 100% lighter after talking my issues through with someone. So that's probably my number one top tip if you're going through anything.
That is a very good top tip. Yeah, talking to somebody can make a whole world of difference. So thank you so much, Isabel, for sharing with us just a little bit about you, some of your hopes, some of your concerns, things you're worried about. It's just great to hear a different perspective from someone else. So thank you so much for coming on today. And thank you all so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I hope that you've enjoyed hearing about Isabel's experiences and some of her thoughts and ideas as well. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, give us a follow, drop a comment, maybe ask us any questions or any podcasts you'd like to hear in the future. Give us a like and share it as well while you're there. We look forward to tuning in with you next time on our next episode. Other than that, have a great week.